Difficult deals happen every day in real estate, and this perspective from Jennifer and Rick is a little bit different because they deal with a specific type of buyer and seller in a very specific place that makes them unique. And they have a great system and operation practice that allows them to deal with these types of situations in a very unique way. If you're interested in learning how Jennifer and Rick are able to capitalize on their rural market in Tangipahoa Parish, check out this conversation with Rick and Jennifer Sedberry.
Well, let's transition to the last part, which I'm excited to talk about because I know how important the company you work for is and the system in which you operate, right? We've talked in the last segments about, how y'all handle difficult transactions and how long you've been doing this work for. But I think that it's important to talk about the system in which you operate. You have coaches that you've met with over time. Movement has things that they offer to you guys that allows you to get through the process more efficiently. But just the standard in which you operate and the longevity in which you've done it, like how much of a system have you in your brain at Rick Sedberry and Jennifer Sedberry? How much have y'all documented that, and what system do y'all operate within?
So our system, we try, for the most part, to have a very set standard.
Consistency.
So the initial contact is always with me, with the customer. So I'm going to do the first, meet and greet. I'm going to talk about their programs. I'm going to do their application. And then I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to send you an email, and this is everything that I need from you. And then Jennifer kind of takes it over for me to gather up the docs. I don't like chasing the paper. So she does a really good job of that. She stays, and I have to say, hey, if you get emails from Jennifer, I need you to reply to them because that's my wife.
I don't want to get in trouble.
So she'll help gather up all the docs, and then she'll tell me, hey, everything's in the file.
Gotcha.
And then I go back and review it. Make sure everything's looks good. I
He
do
calculates
the income, make sure
yeah.
the income's correct. What they told us, because unfortunately, sometimes what they tell me and what the actual numbers are different.
They probably believe the other number.
Oh yeah, they honestly do.
100%. And so once I pre-approve them, and then once they're under contract. Then Melissa, who we didn't touch base on yet, Melissa Black is my my back end.
Yep.
She's awesome.
Rock star.
She's actually been with me for probably going on 10 years now.
Yeah.
Oh, because she started with you.
She started with me at my previous company.
Y'all
and
adopt her?
Pretty much. She's incredible, though.
Pretty much.
She works hybrid for us now. She used to be local, and then her and her husband moved to Texas, but she still works for us remotely, and we talk to her daily. And so she takes things from the actual contract to the closing for us.
Yeah.
So she submits the file to the underwriter. She makes sure the conditions come out, and then her and Jennifer get together on getting the conditions cleared. So it's very systematic to where I can get out and get more business.
Sure.
And go, do podcasts and go meet and greet some agents and try to get more business. Because it's always about increasing.
Yeah. So I think it's clear. It's clear though that you've talked about the human interaction that we talked about at the beginning in the first segment. The first step is Rick meeting with the client and making sure that there's clear expectations.
Absolutely.
And I think that sets the tone.
Yes.
I mean, is that something that y'all have always had implemented, or is that something that y'all just realized was so critical?
So I used to try to embrace technology too much in the last few years. It was just easy to say, hey, I have an online app. Here you go, and I would send them a link, and they were getting lost by the wayside. It was not connecting, and so it was actually through a top loan officer at Movement who actually did a call with us, and he said, "Yeah, no, I don't do that." And so he has a conversation up front, face to face if he can, Zoom, Teams, Google Meet, whatever he can to get that face to face connection to build that relationship. Now, it may be that I still send him the online application if that works best for him, but the initial contact has to be live.
Nice. That's awesome. And again, I can't say this enough. I think if anybody's listening as a business owner, it's the system that you operate within, the clarity around the expectations that allows you to continue to grow. And then talking about how your teammate on your team is worth trusting and they can handle this. If you need something, I'm available, and always putting your stamp of approval on it and being there to make sure that the standard is being met, but trusting other people to handle it. Right. And some people think, well, if I pass it on, people aren't going to get as much of me and they're going to be upset. And I say this all the time: people aren't in love with you; they're in love with the standard in which you operate. Right. So if you have your team that operates within that same standard, they're going to be just as happy with somebody else. Right. At first, they may be like, well, I don't know if I trust that person, but after a couple of times, they actually live up to it. Right. Then they'll be fine with letting somebody else take over and run with that. Right. And then you step in when you need to. But most of the things, of course, can be done without you having to step in, and you got to let other people handle the process. Absolutely, which I think is big. But once you get through that initial contact, Jennifer gets all the information and puts it into the system. what does the underwriting process look like at Movement? Because I know there's now, you get things into the underwriting system and sometimes it comes back out. How do y'all process through all that?
So typically, on average, it's 1 day for the underwriter to kind of review everything, unless it's kind of something outside the box.
Yeah.
They'll come with their conditional approval. And the great thing about Movement is if they see something different than we see, they pick up the phone. They're not just going to kick the file back and say, nope, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
They'll actually pick up the phone and have a conversation with us.
And you've had
You
experiences.
get to fight back.
We get to find out
A little.
a little bit. And we actually won one yesterday.
Heck yeah.
So the underwriter was like, yeah, your income isn't going to work. It was 12-month pay stubs. And the underwriter was like, nope, can't do it. And I was like, I beg to differ.
I strongly disagree.
And here's my proof. And they said, well, we're not aware of this. And so they took it higher up. And then they came back this morning and said, you were right.
Ooh, that feels
I'm like,
good.
ooh. I said, And so, but the great thing is that they're open to listen. They don't just
Right.
kick the file back. They
Yeah.
will work with us. They will be open to suggestions. Like, hey, we've got our head of underwriting, where I could either send him a message on Teams or pick up the phone and call him and like, hey, I got something outside the box I want to run past you.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, all right, let's put our heads together. We're going to figure out a way to make this work.
Nice.
And I can tell you, as long as I've been in the business, Movement's the only one that does that.
Yeah.
It's very rare, and I tell people all the
They're
time.
usually fighting the underwriter.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And and in the mortgage industry, we are recruited hourly.
Hourly.
And we always laugh about it because they'll even try to recruit my wife, and she's always like, "Have you looked to see how many loans I've closed in my name?" Because,
All the loans are in his name. I said, I closed 0 loans.
but I try to tell them like, the grass is not always greener on the other side. It's not just about the money.
Yeah.
Could you go someplace else and be paid more? Yes,
Miserable.
but the reason I came to Movement is because of the level of stress that I had at my previous company, and I was bringing that home. And Jennifer wasn't working with me at the time, and she was just like, "You got to do something because you're coming home and unloading on us and the kids, and you got to do something different."
Yeah.
And I can honestly say at Movement, I don't have that stress. No, I'm not going to say it's stress free.
This industry is not stress
You
free.
cannot, I tell everybody that you cannot remove stress from this industry.
No.
So just tell us what we can help remove.
Yes.
Yeah.
But y'all have great leadership.
We do.
We do.
That's
we
the
do.
difference.
We really
Our
do.
market leaders, we'll talk to him 20 times a day if she needs to.
Yeah.
Patty's amazing,
Patty,
and
yeah.
she keeps him calm and level.
And she'll actually call me. She's like, "You didn't call me today. Is everything okay?" I'm like, "I'm good." She's
Yeah.
like, "Okay, I just wanted to check on you."
Yeah. She checks on me every once in a while too, which
Yeah.
I appreciate.
I don't know when she sleeps.
Yeah.
I see her on the weekends at swim meets because her granddaughter
Yes,
swims
yep.
and my
Yes.
She's
daughter
at swim
swims,
meets.
so I see her there sometimes. I mean, she
Yeah.
She'll be
cares about
emailing
everybody.
at 4 o'clock in the morning. You get emails and like
Yeah. And then
she'll
I'll
call Rick
answer
because she
her,
knows Rick is
and
up.
then she'll call me because she's like, "You're up." I was like, "You don't have to call me at 4 o'clock in the morning." But then she'll be saying, "Oh yeah, I was on the phone with Hung till midnight," and I was like, "When do you sleep?"
Yeah.
But she's awesome.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it says something about y'all's company when you have 3 of the very top loan officers in our area that all work for the same company, and you don't cross paths a ton, and y'all have a lot of good relationship.
Yes.
I think it's important. And me getting to go and see Movement's headquarters, one of the things I talk a lot about, and it kind of helps you level up the system which you operate whenever you put yourself in a different perspective and you see things, right? If you go to Movement headquarters and you see the incredible things that they're doing, you realize that we're in a small area and you see you make an impact locally, but once you get outside of that bubble and you see what you can have the potential to do, it's pretty impressive. And the space in which Movement, the gym they have there, the people they have working there, the culture and the way that people operate. I mean, it's just such an incredible place to be.
I'm talking about impact.
We're not getting a gym. I don't know if that
You
was
need a
plug,
gym.
But we're not
You
You
getting
guys
You
can cut
need a
that
gym.
out, or you can leave it in. So whenever we get the gym, that we can come back and we can show that
We're
she
not
was
eating
wrong and I was
now.
right.
We're not
Just
eating
plugging
now.
that. But I know she's about to get to, and I
Yes.
think it's important to say, like, you go and you see that Movement's creating this foundation, and you're building these schools, and they're giving this money. It inspires you to make an impact in your community. And I know you're from the South Shore, but Tangible Players means a lot to you guys.
Yeah.
And so, whatever y'all doing to give back to the community.
Yeah, so if you don't know Movement Mortgage, their mission statement is, "We exist to love and value people by leading a movement of change." And that's just has really struck home with us. And so we have a partnership with Karis Management, was appraisal management company, and they give away grants once a quarter. We're able to nominate a nonprofit, and then it goes up to a company-wide vote. And so we were just able to award a grant. It's $10,000. We were able to give to Options.
Nice.
In Tangipahoa Parish, which was pretty special.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Congratulations.
We were
So
very
what is
excited.
options? So what's what options is?
So Options actually creates opportunities for those with learning disabilities, whether it be
Intellectual and physical.
yes,
Yeah.
whether it be
Disabilities.
just helping them get out on a daily basis so they're not sitting at home, or whether they have jobs or can help them get their own apartment, or whether they just need some place to go during the day if they physically can't get out.
Yeah.
And it's just a great program. And so we were able to give them a check for $10,000, which is
amazing.
pretty awesome.
Did y'all hand deliver that to them, and you got to like?
We
we
have one
did
of the
the
big
big
checks.
Nice, yeah, very good, very good.
Big checks.
It's always exciting to do.
But first one that we've had awarded in Tangipahoa Parish, which
That's
I was
awesome.
super excited
Aw,
about.
amen.
Yeah, we've had some in New Orleans,
some in New Orleans,
some
on
in
the
the
North
North
Shore,
Yeah.
some in northern Louisiana, but this was the first one in Tangipahoa. So
That's
I was
awesome.
Super
Well,
The
excited.
footprint.
I know,
For sure.
and that's. I mean, it really is. I mean, you know, sometimes the sacrifice of your finances to support the community and your energy, and it gives you a purpose of existing. You know, and like our purpose is to help the business community grow and thrive and be better in our community. And this area on the North Shore is such an incredible place. So being able to do that
Yes,
is a special thing. So
Yeah.
Thank y'all for doing that.
I'm sure everybody was thankful for that.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
absolutely.
Yep. Well, thanks for coming on today, guys.
Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it was
Think
great.
y'all did great. It was a great conversation.